Without magic, Iris is unable to do anything and is forced to stay outside the academy. Meanwhile, Sherry fine-tunes the artifact and is ready to head into the tunnels, but before they step into them, Sherry recalls seeing the death of her mother as a child. Lutheran comforted her, stating her mother was a great researcher and offered to take and raise Sherry. As Lutheran supported her mother's research, Sherry is determined to repay him. Sid leaves Sherry head into the tunnels alone. The cult knight wonders why is Rex taking that long. Some of the terrorists then start shooting the students for fun, but Rose tells the students to not do anything as without magic they won't stand a chance. Sherry reaches the auditorium and seeing the cult knight holding the Eye of Avaris, she activates her artifact and disables the magic blocking field. In that moment, Rose attacks one of the terrorists, stating their magic is back and the students start fighting back. As the fight starts, Sid comes from the roof with other Shadow Garden members and engages the terrorists. The cult knight leaves, but activates a system that causes the auditorium and the rest of the school to burst into flames. Iris finally makes a move, but sees the terrorists are dead and the students are outside and okay. She asks Rose what happened and Rose explains that once their magic was back, an organization called Shadow Garden came and killed the terrorists who were also calling themselves Shadow Garden. Sherry couldn't see her father at the auditorium and wonders where is he as she tries to escape the fire. The cult knight burns some books. Sid appears and wonders why Lutheran is dressed like that. The cult knight removes his helmet, revealing he is indeed Lutheran, and wonders how Sid knows that, but Sid states it was obvious from the moment he saw him. Sid wonders why he did this. Lutheran explains that once he reached the top of the swordfighting world, but soon he became sick. He easily lost the glory he fought hard to attain and started searching a way to cure his disease and found potential in a certain artifact. He funded Sherry's mother research and eventually found the artifact he longed for. However, Sherry's mother stated the Eye of Avaris was dangerous and wanted to give it to the government for safekeeping. Lutheran then killed Sherry's mother. Sherry didn't see him there and never realized it and continued her mother's research. Sid wonders if Lutheran used Sherry for his selfish reasons and he confirmed. Sid then explains he doesn't care for Sherry and her mother but suggests they start before someone else comes. Sid and Lutheran then face each other, but in an instant Lutheran cuts Sid and he falls through the window. A moment later, Shadow comes. Having experience with strong fighters, Lutheran immediately notes that he knows he is at disadvantage against Shadow. Not wanting to waste time, he pulls out the Eye of Avaris and the control unit artifact and explains that when you combine them, their true value shows. As he does, he starts overflowing with magical energy and feels reborn. Lutheran then starts attacking Shadow. However, Shadow easily blocks his attacks without even moving from his spot. Lutheran decides to get serious and lunges at Shadow, but he ends up cut by him. Angered, Lutheran still continues to attack Shadow and explains that he made sure Shadow Garden are blamed for all of this and they will be hunted by everyone. Shadow finds that hilarious and explains that something small as this won't end his organization, which isn't good or evil but walks on its own path. Shadow is fine taking all the guilt for all crimes but states that won't change anything and they will continue to do what they must. Shadow then disarms Lutheran and proceeds stabbing his limbs. He then recalls how Lutheran stated he killed Sherry's mother and stabs him the same way and kills him. In that moment, Sherry arrives and sees her dead father and starts crying over his body. Shadow notes it's better if he doesn't tell her about her mother and just leaves. Shadow is labeled as enemy to the kingdom and is wanted for mass murder, kidnapping, arson, and robbery. Gamma tells Alpha that Shadow states he will gladly accept the guilt for all crimes, but that won't change anything and they will keep doing what they must. Alpha thought they stood for righteousness, but Shadow doesn't seem to see it that way and they must live up to his resolve. She tells Gamma to assemble the available 7 shadows. The academy gets closed for an earlier summer break. Sherry thanks Sid for his help the other day. She tells him that she decided to go study abroad in Logos. She needs to do something but can't do it at the moment with her knowledge and also has no reason to stay here anymore. She wished to get to know Sid better, but Sid tells her they can do that next time. Before leaving, he asks her what she needs to do. After a moment of silence, she tells him it's a secret. The summer breaks start earlier and most students decide to head home. Having nothing to do at home, Sid decides to stay in the dorm, but soon realizes he doesn't have anything to do there either. He soon receives a letter from Alpha telling him about Lindworm. Meanwhile, Epsilon is happy to start her day. She recalls how she was saved by Shadow and obtained slime magic, which allowed her to fight 2 fates. Using the slime magic, she gives herself a larger bust. Beta writes a novel about how Shadow saved a woman from Zen and Griffey, but gets frustrated and decides to take some fresh air. Outside, Beta ends up meeting Epsilon, who states that lately Shadow has been gazing at her, at especially her chest. Beta doesn't want to believe it, but Epsilon states that since both have large busts, they are more aware of those sort of glances. Epsilon then teases Beta if she had not received such gazes from Shadow. Noon Nu then comes and tells them that they have a new directive from Alpha. Iris and Alexia visits Gamma's store to prepare for Alexia's trip to the Sacred Land as a special guest for the goddess's trial. Alexia intends to use the opportunity and speak with Archbishop and looks into dark rumors about corruption and missing orphans. Gamma meets them and introduces herself as Luna. After explaining why they are there, Alexia requests to see some other more common items for everyday use, which won't be exactly for her, but it won't be a gift to someone either. Gamma then realizes what she means and shows her some panties and thongs, as they barely cover anything and the men like them. Iris is against it, but Alexia likes them and is confident she will look good in them. She ends up trying them and manages to convince Iris to let her buy them. After the terrorist attack, Rose heard that Sid is alive and rushed to find him. She found him covered in bandages and states he must have survived and caused a miracle by his deep love to her. She accepts his love, and as he saved her, she will give him her heart. Later, Sid and Rose are traveling together in a train towards the Sacred Lands, with Rose clinging to him. As it will take them 2 more days until they arrive, Sid feels his decision to take the train as a background character was a mistake, and he could have run there faster. Rose guesses that Sid is there to take on the goddess's trial. Sid is not sure but guesses that Alpha sent him for that and confirms it. Rose then explains that those that receive the goddess blessings may even marry a princess, and if he gets it, she will speak with her father about the young brave man. She still can't tell anyone about them, but believe that if they work hard, they will have a happy future. Reaching Lindworm, Sid sees some keychains of a sword piercing a left demonic arm. Rose explains that according to the legend, here Olivia cut off the left arm of the demon Diablos. Somewhere within the nearby mountains are the ruins known as the Sanctuary, where it's said that Diablo's left arm is sealed. Walking around, Rose notices a signing event of the author Nasum. Rose is a big fan of hers and they line up. She explains how original her works are and how diverse and imaginary they are. Sid then checks some of her books and sees titles like Asherella, Starets of Trap Wars, One Purse, Dragon Bowl, etc. He quickly realizes they are plagiarized and guesses that someone else had reincarnated like him and lines up to find out who it is. To his surprise, he sees Beta is Nasum, who used his wisdom to get herself famous. Sid recalls that Beta told him she loves literature, so he told her a few stories from his past life. He thought she was going to use them as an inspiration to come up with a cool story, but she ended up stealing them. Beta signs a book and gives it to him, stating it contains all the details of the mission. Rose shows her book to Sid, saying that Nasum wrote her name in it. She wonders what Nasum wrote to Sid, but are surprised to see it's written in ancient language. Rose knowns a bit, but can't read it. She wonders why she wrote it like that, and Sid guesses it's because it's cool. Alpha is next to Archbishop Drake's dead body and wonders what he was hiding, that they even kill a man of his high status. Sid notices a man running on a rooftop and stops him. The man attacks him, but Sid easily blocks. Epsilon then shows up and kills the man. She tells Sid that the target was eliminated by the cult's executioner. They got his henchman, but the executioner has gone into hiding. They will be moving to Plan B. Sid informs her that he will be proceeding with his own plans. One of the things Sid likes is hot springs. While in Lindworm, he goes to a hot spring. Unexpectedly, Alexia is already there too. He wonders why she is in Lindworm, and she explains she is a special guest for the goddess trial. Alexia asks Sid the same question, and Sid explains that a friend invited him, telling him that there is a fun event. Alexia expected Sid to be ogling her, but he isn't even looking at her. Sid notes that he tends to not look at people at hot springs, so that they all feel more comfortable while bathing, although he would appreciate if she stops ogling his Excalibur. The new acting Archbishop Jack Nelson cancels the audit with Alexia, explaining that she was there investigating the previous Archbishop, but he is now dead and they will be investigating his death. The goddess trial is starting and Alexia is sitting next to Beta in her Natsum Kafta personality. Seeing her body, Alexia is annoyed at how like Natsum is and guesses that such types like her are the most corrupt on the inside. At the same time, Beta looks at Alexia and is annoyed by her as she used Sid and also thinks that Alexia is corrupt on the inside. The trial starts and the first contender is from Oriana Kingdom, Top Batharius. 2 people from the audience sitting behind Sid explain that if a warrior is summoned, you can't leave the barrier around the arena until one of them is defeated. Top challenges a warrior, but no one comes out. After him comes next Tinline from Midgard Knight Order, but no warriors comes to face him too. Sid really wants to go with Shadow and show his skills, making people wonder who he is. Next is Still Ain't Happen from Lavius Vigilant Corps. However, he and many more are unable to summon anyone. Sid is getting bored and hopes the trial ends soon, as after all that only Anaros managed to summon an ancient warrior. In that moment, the announcer reveals the next challenger is from Midgard Academy for Dark Knights, Sid Kajanu. Bored, Sid states that name sounds like a background character name, but then realizes it's his name. Sid wonders if he should come out, but if he do so, the ancient warriors are usually matching the strength of those that come out, and it may be revealed he is quite strong. But if he refuses, if the Academy hears that, he may get expelled. Sid decides to use option 3. He creates a light above the arena to distract the people and then jumps in as Shadow. A person then appears after Shadow, shocking Jack as he didn't activate any summons. Beta recognizes the person as Aurora, the Witch of Calamity. However, there isn't much information about her due to the chaos and destruction that came after her. Beta asks Jack if he can tell her more about Aurora and falling for her feminine side. Jack agrees, but states that Shadow is unfortunate to summon her as she is the most powerful witch in all of history. Alexia disagrees, stating that if Aurora came, then Shadow's powers must have reached her level. Shadow and Aurora face each other and smile in excitement. As they start fighting, they are both enjoying their battle. Initially, Shadow is just observing and dodging all of Aurora's attacks. He really enjoys but sees that Aurora can't use her full power and then defeats her with a single slash, noting that he wished he could have fought her at her full strength. Shadow then leaves, shocking everyone that he won. The barrier then breaks and a magic door appears in the middle of the arena.
Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell so as not to miss new videos. Bye everyone.